Hey, Patty, welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining.
I think Chris said he was coming too, and Erica. Okay.
I'll let them in if I see them.
Oh wait, is Ashley here?
I just let Jordan
Yeah,
Oh,
in.
George. Okay, perfect. I
I'm here.
see. Yep, thanks, sorry. Okay.
No problem.
Good
I'm on
afternoon.
video off for a few minutes. Sorry.
Yeah, totally get it. Welcome to Morris Brandon's GOTeam Meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it's been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For members of the Go team, please identify yourself when you speak. I'm pleased to call this meeting of Morris Brandon to order at 3:31. Our first order of business is to call roll. The secretary now take roll.
Please respond present when your name is called. Principal Bland,
Present.
Aaron Bourne,
Present.
Chris Fellows. Not yet. Okay, I'll circle back on that one. Kim Ball, I have you.
Present.
Miss Moses.
Oh,
Is she en
I
route?
don't see her yet. She might jump in. I'll let you know if I let her in.
Sounds good. Dr. Forehand,
Present.
myself. And I know Tiffany is not going to make it. She's traveling today. And Melissa, Mexico. Excellent.
Here, I'm letting Chris in, so he's here.
Okay, I have Chris as present now.
Okay. This team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. Ashley, is there a quorum present?
Yes, there is a quorum present.
Thank you so much. So I'll now proceed. We actually don't have, oh, yes. So proceed to the action items on the agenda. So our first order of business is to approve the agenda, and you can see the agenda on the screen. This was provided to you and copies are here. Are there any changes to the agenda? May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank
Second.
you. All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Hi.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, any abstentions? Please say abstain. Okay. Now we'll move on and review the meeting minutes for our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you. Are there any corrections? Nope. Okay, then can I have a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes? I'll 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 motion. A second?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, no any assumptions? I think everyone responded. Okay, great. Um, let's see here. We don't have any other action items, so we are just gonna move on to the discussion items, which I put under the principal's report and the information items. So I will turn it over to Jay.
And before we turn it over, I miss Miss Jordan on the roll call, but I do have you as present. I'm not sure if I
Oh,
called her name, but I
okay.
do
Do
have
you
her
see
down.
Miss Moses is on too,
Yeah, I just
Ashley?
got on too, Ashley. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have you, Miss Moses, too.
Thank
Fellas is
you.
on now.
Yep, we got you, Chris. I got you. I'll
Okay.
let him know when you came in. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Today is our last Go Team meeting of the year. I'm going to make it painless for you. Hopefully, we're going to look at some quick spring map data. And then we're going to take a quick glimpse at some Gallup data, have a quick protocol that I've done a little bit for you already. But hopefully, we can just have a good organic discussion, share out anything that we need. Thank you for all your work. It's been a great year, and we'll talk a little bit about that at the end, but let's jump right into it. Okay. So today we're going to talk just a little bit about our spring map results. We're going to compare fall to spring, but really I'm really looking at spring mostly. Literacy and numeracy. Those are pretty aligned to how we're going to do on the milestones. This is prepared by our data department. So they love to like give us shout outs to like our rankings, but I don't really take that into heart because it's not apples to apples. So don't worry so much about the rankings. We're just taking a look at our overall reading percentages. Take a look at where we finished the year with second, third, fourth, and fifth. Percentages beginning, developing, proficient, and distinguished. Right now, as a school, if we were to add up third, fourth, and fifth divided by 3, we're right about 76% proficient in reading and right about 72% in math. Very similar to where we were last year. So it's time for us to make that big push. And I'll talk to you a little bit about what we've been doing. But I just want you to take a second to just organically take a couple notes in your head because I do have a little slide at the end that's just going to ask for a little bit of quick feedback. So if you see anything that stands out to you, let me know. This is pretty high level. I'll get more to our subgroups in just a moment. Here's our math. The top part is the district, and then the bottom line is Brandon, and then it breaks it up into more. Remember, only second through fifth grade take map growth. So you're not going to see kindergarten and first grade on here. Take a look at the proficiency in second grade. What do we see there? What's the percentage of proficient kids in math in second? 90. That is high. It's higher as ever been. 90% of our second graders are rolling up proficient. That is a big eye opener for us in third grade. That's a lot of work we're going to have to do to make sure that we meet them where they are. Okay? It's a really, really high group. We love that.
Do you attribute that to anything particular, Jay?
That's a great question. I will go ahead and give you just a quick 30-second spiel that K2 is a very, very tight instructional program. I will tell you they have less barriers, kind of less constraints than we do, but they have a tight instructional program. They've been a little more flexible with math. Guess what they adopted earlier on this year in first and second grade? Does anybody have a first or second grader on here? They went ahead and adopted Eureka Math early on in the year. They did not like Savvis. They changed their whole math scope and sequence and plan. We kept with the plan at 3.5 like we were supposed to, and that's fine as well. We had good growth in math. I'll show you our subgroups in just a minute, but I do think that they have some secret sauce at K2, and that is one of the things that we are building out for next year. We are building out our alignment between K2 and 3.5. We are working even tighter together, looping in Miss Nails and her instructional leadership with Miss Kemp and Miss Moses and Miss Small and Miss Minnock and Mr. DeCarlo up here, kind of really building it together so we have that streamline. But that's a good question, Ashley. And yeah,
That's Aaron.
Aaron. Sorry, Aaron asked that. Gotcha, Aaron. My bad.
So is third through fifth going back to Eureka?
Yep. Next year, we're adopting it. We're bringing Eureka back. It was an APS pilot. Just so you know, we are adopting new curriculums next year. And we had the choice to use HMH, which is the same one our reading program is, and we really didn't want to go that route. Our teachers are very familiar with Eureka. It's Eureka squared. It's a little different. It's kind of like doesn't read like that newspaper like it used to. It actually has color. It's a little bit more engaging, tells the story of numbers. You sort of have to do it in order. But we're hoping to see some good gains. We were 80% proficiency years ago, back in like 15, 16. Demographics have changed a little, but that was all Eureka years up until about 2021. But yes, we are. How do you feel about that, Kim?
There are a lot of good online resources for Eureka for parents. So
Yeah.
I really like the fact that if my kid had a question, I could support them at home.
Yep. Right. Good. I love that. All right, let's take a look at just our chart here. I don't mind sharing some of the other schools because the district put this together for me. You can see our bubble right here. Now, this is K5 growth and achievement. So now we're looping in our kindergartners and our first graders, right? Spoiler alert, super high achievement, super high growth, K1, 2, all the way through. So that really does help our bubble. If we were to filter out 3.5, it might drop just a little bit. Not below the line or anything, but it's still right there. You can see our median growth, median achievement percentile is 84. Growth is 65. Anything 40 to 60 is typical. So that's high achievement, high growth. So we're in that top right quadrant right here. Here's our math. Nice little isolated bubble right there. The bigger the bubble, the bigger the school it used to be, but it doesn't really look like that on here. Achievement and growth. Really good growth in math this last push. Take a couple mental notes. Science, little different. We'll talk about science. We don't have any alignment to Georgia milestones right now. So we're always a little bit of a shot in the dark with science in our map growth. Growth was a little bit lower this year. Of course, we hadn't gotten to um, well, physical science, animal plant cells, all of that right now that's being taught. But that's why our bubble looks to be a little bit lower. We were 62 proficient 2 years in a row in fifth grade science, and our goal is this year is to at least get that up 10%.
Have you heard the district talk about anything with regards to the science curriculum?
Yeah, we're going to adopt a science curriculum next year for the following year. So last year we did ELA, this year we did math, next year we do science.
Like 2026, 2027?
26, 27 to pick a curriculum, implement it 27, 28. Just like we picked a math this year, we'll implement it next year. And just like we did ELA last year to implement this year. So next year is science for the following year. Okay, now let's take a look at our subgroups. This is SWD. Pay attention to the top row here. The bottom is the district. Okay, we're going to look at math, SWD, not SWD versus SWD, and reading, not SWD versus SWD. Over here, we have economically disadvantaged, two big subgroups for us, right here and right here for reading and math. Okay, take a couple seconds to just process it and take a couple notes, mental notes. Looks like we had a great 5% gain in math, really from fall to winter, because I'm sorry, spring to winter. This is fall, winter, spring. So winter to spring, we had a nice jump. Look how we did all year. We grew 12% proficient if you were not SWD in math. If you were SWD in math, 16% proficiency. Shout out to and I hate saying SWD because it is actually exceptional ed now, so please correct me, EE. But shout out to, I mean, those students, those teachers to grow from 27% proficient to 46, almost 20% proficient, not like developing, like we're moving kids to where they need to be. That's fantastic. So just shout out to them. Reading a little bit more flat across the school, right? Not a ton of growth from winter to spring or really fall to spring. A little better in SWD fall to spring. Okay. Take a look at math for economically disadvantaged. Look at that growth, 28% to 45, about 15, 17% proficiency gains for economically disadvantaged and not economically disadvantaged. We had some pretty good math data this last kind of snapshot. All right. Those are the trend lines that you want to see right here. Reading, a little bit more stagnant, right? Keep going. Now this is I showed you this slide in the winter as well. This is a snapshot of what our CCRPI closing the gaps might look like. Okay, if you remember, first of all, these are our targets. I'm not going to go into how those targeted numbers are set. Is 98.77. Those are just set, and each year we meet our target. It goes up 3%. Last year we had some gaps on some of our targets. We missed our targets for Hispanic ELA. And I think SWD, no, African American, Black ELA. We missed it for Hispanic math as well. But because we had new standards this year, the state is not going to give us CCRPI targets. And you typically get red or green. And that tells you whether you met your state target or you didn't. Our current score for closing the gaps is a 76. 2 years ago, it was an 86. Okay. So that was our lowest indicator on CCRPI. It's weighted out of those four categories, but closing the gaps was a 76. Everything else was in the 90s. So this is a big focus because our subgroups really drive a lot of the data. So when we look at this type of data here for math, that's really strong. But when we look at it for reading, we need to figure out, what kind of strategies we need to make sure that achievement is consistently going up in reading. So if you look at math, it looks like, and so there's no targets this year for ELA because it's a new standard year. So we don't have to worry about that. We did really well with math, and we almost got all of our targets. We're missing Hispanic by a little bit, and we're missing SWD by a little bit. When it says 12 bands for SWD, that means that I need 12 bands moved between this map and milestones. What that means is if a kid was beginning on this map, I need them to be developing on the Georgia milestones, and that'll be one band. Does that make sense? If there was a kid that was developing on winter map and he goes to proficiency on the milestones, that's another band. So that's two. Typically, a kid only moves one band. So it'd be about 12 kids. Rarely do you have a child that moves two bands, right? Beginning to proficient is very hard. Developing to distinguished is very hard. So we're really looking at 12 kids to move one band to hit this target. And that's
How many do
important.
we have in that group, Jay?
Well, we have at least 15, but in 3-5, because you're only going to see them on here if you have 15 in 3-5, but we have about 22 Hispanic students.
No, for SWD.
Oh, SWD, we got 60. Yeah, we have a lot. So SWD, we have, I'm sorry, yes, we have, I was kind of comparing SWD with Hispanic. Let me straighten that out. SWD down here, we have to move 12, but we actually have a lot more kids. So we have 60 kids. Can we get 12 of them to move one band between now and milestones? Spoiler alert, last year, not only were these two categories green, they also had the yellow star because that meant that not only did we reach our targets for special ed, we actually exceeded it. So you can get the little sneech star, I call it the sneech star, the star, only on SWD indicators. So, when you get a star and you beat your target by 3%, that's why it's so hard to meet it again, because the next year it goes up by 3%. CCRPI punishes schools that do well, and it is known in the state. Okay. So anytime you do well, the next year it's just as hard. It's continual improvement. Science looks like we're hitting all of our targets, but it kind of looked like that the last couple of years. It was a little more challenging to get a good grasp on our science data. All right. We didn't have, it looks like a score last year. It's our first year for a subgroup for these students. Looks like we'll have 15 in fifth grade this year. Okay. So we'll have, overall we have 15. We have a lot more. We have 60 in 3-5, but we have at least 15 in fifth grade. We have a lot more than that, actually. So this is just a preview to our CCRPI. Green is good, red not so much, okay? But there's definitely less red than green, and we're trying to turn that over. All right. I want you to think about what we saw on this, a couple mental notes, okay? I'll let you look at it one more time, kind of preview. This is the district, so focus on the top. Math, reading, SWD, not SWD. Math, reading, economically disadvantaged, not economically disadvantaged. Some students we don't have data on. Now, I want you to think of these 4 questions. What does this data tell us? What good news is there to celebrate? Where are growth opportunities? What trends do we see in the data? I'm going to lean just on my team just really quickly because I know they're on here. And I'm sorry to call you out, but maybe I can just start with Forehand or Moses. And just tell me, Mr. Forehand, is there anything that the data that I shared with you that kind of stands out to you as a school that we just talked about on here, for example?
Yeah, I was thinking the math data has improved greatly, but there's definitely still a focus in the reading area.
Right.
But I really believe that the growth bands that you need to see with our exceptional ed students will be met. I think that we have very targeted goals, and we still have a couple of weeks left to really meet those targets.
Yeah,
I
great.
feel pretty confident with that.
So Dr. Forehand called out that the data is telling us that we had great growth in really math. If you look at the first bar being the fall and the last one being the spring, I mean, that's a 13% proficiency gain for non-SWD and almost a 17% gain for SWD or economically disadvantaged. Over here is the SWD. We grew 12% not SWD and nearly 19%, nearly 20% SWD. It's great math data. I love it. Anybody have anything else? Maybe that's available to share out or that wants to share? Anything else? What good news is there to celebrate? We talked about that. Where are some of the growth opportunities? Anybody want to share?
I'll share.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we have like obviously areas of growth in reading where we've like either with our students who are non-SWD kind of making sure we're maintaining that same, we got to 83 and then we fell back a little bit. So figuring out like where maybe some things have changed or how we, really target in these last few weeks before milestones to make sure we're getting that 80% proficiency. But we're seeing, a lot of growth with our SWD kiddos, and just figuring out how do we continue in that trajectory so that they continue to improve.
Yeah, that's a good call out. We don't typically see our not SWD students kind of flatline, 77 to 79. We had a new ELA curriculum this year, and our teachers are trying to grasp it and do what's right. Remember, MAP does not take on right score in the writing piece, so that is not factored in here. And we really have some great writing data. I mean, just really great writing data. Really K3, and then fourth grade peer revision was excellent, and fifth grade is averaging at about a 4 or 5 out of 8 right now. So writing is not in here, but yes, we don't see typically kind of that type of growth in reading. So that's a good call out. All right. Growth opportunities. Thank you, Moses. And trends that we saw. We talked about SWD and ED and also our not SWD students in reading. This is a little bit around what I put on here. I'll let you read it just for a second. Save you the opportunity of kind of popcorning it out and me typing it. This one should say EE students dropped 4%. I don't know what the not was in there for. Sorry about that. All right. Do any of these stand out to you as a good strength or a good opportunity? I'll say this. I'll phrase this. What do you think it means with having 23% of our students in third and really about that in fifth in the developing area for reading? What do we feel about that? What does that mean? Why is that a major opportunity?
I mean, if we can get them from developing to proficient, that's huge.
Right. Imagine that those kids are not beginning, right? They're not like, I don't have any background knowledge and I'm just going to kind of be in the red. These are kids that we really need to focus on. 23% is nearly like a quarter of our school, a quarter of third grade are sitting in the yellow. And if we could slide them into that green and push them with some of that proficiency, I mean, think about the opportunities we have. We don't want them going this way, but I always say that when you have that much in the yellow, that's a major opportunity. Okay. Here's some needs for next year. I talked about this, but I want to tell you a little bit what we'll be doing recently. We have been running Milestone Boot Camp this week. We'll do it next week, and we'll do it for fourth grade the week after. The district was great, and shout out to the teaching and learning department and Miss Topper, who probably put it together for us. They gave us great boot camp kind of materials, but we felt like for our school, we needed more rigor and we needed more something that was closely aligned to what the grade level deficits were. So people like Miss Chu and Mr. DeCarlo and Miss Kemp, our new AP, were really putting together new slides for our grade levels that drill down exactly what they need. And they're building them out to really 10 days. 5 days this week and 5 days next week. They're 45-minute lessons. And we purchased it cost about $15,000 to buy coach books for every student in 3-5 for reading. And all of our math intervention students have math books and is directly aligned to the standards. And they're learning the PowerPoint. They're going through the work. They're revisiting a standard and they're going in the workbook and practicing it. And that's our job that we're doing right now. And what the pushes that you really need to make to get that proficiency, because you can still get a couple more kids and a couple more of those bands right now if we're intentional about it. And that's what we've been doing. Stronger alignment between second and third is my biggest goal. I feel confident in the direction that we're moving, that we have 90% proficient students coming from second to third grade. We have done the foundational work. You can't get much better than that. So now the work is on us in third grade next year. And we need to align that, and we need to find the best teachers for those third grade students. Training and preparedness for a new math curriculum is huge. Shout out to our instructional team because we actually booked Eureka Math, the trainers, not people that are training on Eureka, like actual Eureka, great minds to come in, paid them a ton of money, and they're going to come in and do an all-day training with our staff on the 27th of May. That's the day after Memorial Day or 2 days after Memorial Day, because we come back for 3 professional learning days. And a lot of schools and a lot of people mail those days in, get ready for the summer, see you when you get back. We are digging into the work for next year. And that is something that our teachers want and have asked for because they are tired of being loaded on right when they get back. So we are trying to get them things like schedules, class lists, and trainings in before we leave for summer. We need to continue to hold all of our students to high expectations. I don't know if that's a deficit for us, but it's a reminder for us that all students can achieve and that all students count and all students matter. I like to put that on there. We can't mail it in on any students. And if you are in our school, our goal is to move you to proficiency.
I had a quick question. Like, I
Yeah.
know the 23, I don't remember the exact percentage, but 23% or so for third and fifth word
Mhm.
development. Like, is it on the cusp of proficient, or is it because you know, like how it can be like you're 1 point off, or is it like
Yeah,
a
that's
lot
such a
of
good
points?
question. I'm putting it right here so you can sort of see, where's my reading? Yeah, right here. You can see the 23% sitting right here. Great question. So we actually have a cusp document that we give our teachers. So our last protocol was not, hey, go through your map data, tell us who's proficient, who's not, how are the subgroups. It's here are your kids that are on the cusp of any band. And we gave it to the teachers, and that was the protocol. So we basically, the cut score for developing might be a 182 to like a 195. So if kids were on a 193 or 194, we put them on that document so we know they can go over there. But likewise, we did the same thing for kids that could go the other direction. And right now, with 10 days to milestones, we are just relying on the teachers to know that they are cusp, get them in your small groups for your milestone boot camps and keep moving with them. That's a great question, though. And we always focus on those cusp students, CUSP. And as a matter of fact, we sent letters home for cusp students over winter break. I don't know if any of y'all got them because maybe your kids were not on the cusp of a band, but we actually made a conscious effort led by Miss Moses to really tell our parents, hey, your child finished here on MAP. They could be here. Let's work with them over the next, 3 to 4 months. So if you were a CUS student in winter, your parents were made aware. All right. So a couple of next steps. We're going to be spending all summer working on this. We start our CIP process planning tomorrow morning, actually, with our admin at main campus. That's our continuous improvement plan that really sets the trajectory for next year. Yep, there you go. And you can just kind of read everything on here. And we're going to have our first business meeting in fall of 26. But we're going to review those strategic priorities and metrics for the year. So we have, if you're returning with us next year or joining us, we'll do all of that to start the year. Now, I do want to talk about Gallup just for a minute. Are we okay to move on to Gallup? Okay. This is a big survey we give. I wrote about it in the B-mail. Okay. I just want to show you this engagement mean. I want to show you our trend line for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Show you our percentile rank. Show you our highest items and our lowest items. This is all great data. And we even went up a 0.05%, which is pretty level, but I still consider that a plus, right? Let's take a look at some of our items. So number one is the most important. And the reason being is because when you look at Hattie's effect size, we talked about Hattie, and he did the effect size of what really impacts student learning, right? He studied 7 million students across the world. One of the biggest things that increase student learning is called teacher clarity. It has like a hinge point of a 0.9. Remember, a hinge point, anything below a 0.4 can hurt learning. Anything above a 0.4 can help learning. The highest is collective teacher efficacy at a 1.3, but 1.9 is teacher clarity. If teachers know what is expected of them and they know what they're supposed to do, then you're halfway there, right? There's no confusion. So I love having that as literally our highest rating. Our teachers come to work and they know what is expected of them. I would be worried if they didn't. Secondly, how great is it to have teachers that know what's expected of them? They also have the materials and supplies needed to do their work right. So now we have two things. That's a shout out to our foundation, our PTO, right? It's just giving everybody what they need. Nobody gets really told no. If it's going to support students and help our kids, then we get it for them. All right. Take a look at some of our low ones. That's on me, right? That's on our admin. I try and give recognition, but sometimes it hasn't been in the last 7 days. Okay.
I was gonna say, is that a normal question? Like 7 days seems very short.
Gallup has done
Like,
so many studies on these questions. And by the way, this is a Q12 survey that's given not just to educators, but every field. So there could be airplane mechanics out in Boeing in Seattle, and they give this Q12 survey, and they have the same 12 questions. So yes, that's a great one. Like another one is this one, my best friend at work, right? That's our lowest. And that's a question that confuses people. They wonder why it's on there. Hey, my best friend's not at work. No. And I have to do a better job. And I've learned in other years that when I actually kind of dig into that question and let teachers know what it means, they actually rate it a little higher. But everybody needs somebody they can vent to at work. Everybody. You need somebody who you can go into a room and close the door and cry and yell at and just be your friend, right? And they don't always know that. Like they don't know that's what that question means. I do think our teachers have someone at work they can do that with, but we need to create more opportunities for them. That's definitely a focus. Even with those are I think that's the only one that decreased. There might be one more that decreased out of the 12, but the 10 out of 12 definitely increased. So we were happy with that. So I just wanted you to see this because if you have kids at Brandon, it's important to know that the teachers at Brandon are happy. Couple summary plots. You can just read this. Some of the things that we need to do. This is something that we need to do better at in staff meetings because people hate icebreakers, but then they don't like it when we don't do icebreakers. So now we got to figure out the middle ground. Clear expectations, instructional focus, and commitment to growth. All right. Want to give a quick hiring update. We have new hires for kindergarten and fourth grade. Excited about that. We made a new hire for our autism PC self-contained teacher onboarding next year because Mr. Ross is retiring and we will miss him and we love him. Excited about that. We hired our general maintenance worker. Remember, we talked about that and we approved that together. We have 2 buildings. We're going to be the only school in APS with 2 buildings outside of Sutton. So why not get a general maintenance? We were able to make that work. So we hired somebody. So now we have a site manager and a general maintenance person next year that's going to support both buildings. Excited about that. We just hired our new site manager, Mr. Davis. If you knew our old site manager, he moved on, and now Ronte Davis is here learning and growing. So we're excited about that. Miss Topper, I think you're aware, but she was promoted to be the new director of curriculum and instruction in APS. So we hired a new assistant principal. And we were excited to have Miss Kemp join us, who taught at Morris Brandon and worked here for several years. And she started really right before spring break. When we don't have any other vacancies right now. If you remember last year at this time, we were hiring everything, counselors and gifted teachers, and now we are much more set. We hired fourth because we had a teacher leaving. We hired K because we had a teacher retiring, and we hired autism PC because we had a teacher retiring. We had hired an AP because the AP left. General maintenance and site manager. General maintenance was a new position, and site manager was because somebody left. So we don't really have a ton of new positions on here outside of general maintenance. Couple additional items.
Oh, sorry, Jay, before that. And when then we talked about how we had to like move some people around, right? Like from fifth to fourth and all that stuff.
Yes, great question. Let's talk about that. So right now, our staffing document, I don't know if I was supposed to show that this one, but I will just tell you, I guess, is that we're keeping the same number of teachers in third, fourth, and fifth, but we're just shifting them around. So basically, third grade has 8 homerooms right now, and they are moving to 8 homerooms in fourth grade because they have the same cohort is moving up. Fourth grade only has 6 right now. So 2 teachers have to go to fourth. That means 1 from third and 1 from fifth are going to fourth grade. All right. Now, that doesn't tell the whole story. We're always going to look at data and shift a few things around. But I will just tell you that we're reducing our third grade homerooms by 1 homeroom from 8 to 7. We're increasing our fourth grade homerooms by 2 from 6 to 8. And we're decreasing our fifth grade homerooms from 7 to 6. All right. So what that means, yep.
On average, what's the class size?
18 to 22. DLI is rolling up from second grade with 23 and 24. And they're rolling into fourth grade with 24 and 25. And then I just don't know fifth grade yet because I believe they're going to be probably closer to 18. So they're going to be a little higher. What's my commitment, Kim? When we get the 15th day of school, we're going to look at our money. I moved $150,000 over last week, like we talked about, and we're going to post and we're going to hire for a bilingual DLI paraprofessional that's going to support those classrooms. Okay. That was my commitment to start to kind of help level out their class sizes just a little bit.
Oh, I thought we were going to help the first grade teachers.
Yes. Yeah. It can be
Yep.
there too. It's just I'm
Okay.
just hiring the teacher.
Okay.
The first grade teachers and second grade teachers are the ones that really need the help because they lose the
Yes.
para. But
Yeah.
I could probably use them across all. We just have a
Oh,
scheduling
sure.
person.
I just feel bad for the first grade teachers, man.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
not the actual teachers, just the
Yeah, no,
quantity of kids.
I understand. I understand. And we're committed to giving them help and support. But Hernandez and Bivings are doing a
Oh,
great.
they're great teachers.
Yeah.
It's just more of the quantity of kids.
Yeah. I understand. I get it. I get it. Is there anything else around hiring or anything that I can help answer for y'all? Because I do know that your focus was getting our class sizes to 18 to 22. We are starting our CIP process tomorrow morning. This year, it is much more aligned to our strategic plan process. So remember, we had those 4 goals that we all outlined: increase third grade reading by 10% by 2030. We needed to increase our students feeling comfortable going to adult in school. We wanted to increase our Gallup engagement, and there was one more about African American students with growth. Those were the goals that we chose. We're actually going to use those in our CIP. So there's going to be a much more alignment now between GOTeam and our continuous improvement plan. And then in there, we will continue to build out those class sizes like we want in traditional homerooms, and then provide a DLI para or para support for our first and second grade, if not 3-5 DLI classrooms that are over that ideal class size.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Just do teachers, they've already signed contracts for the next school year. Is that how this, so you already know that everybody's committed for the
Great
next
question. They have signed. They can break a contract up until June 1st. So
Okay.
everybody signs, right? A few people separate because they're retiring, but I know who's gone. We've already hired for them. And I typically know if somebody's looking for a job or might go. But we had a teacher who had had to move back home, like a sick parent, and just told me a couple of days ago. So we had to make a couple shifts there. But right now, every contract is signed and we are pretty much fully staffed. Yeah. Yeah, you can in the state of Georgia or in Metro Atlanta, so DeKalb, Fulton, Gwinnett, they've all sort of come into an agreement with their HRs that contracts are locked after June 1st, and no school systems can pull another teacher after June 1st, unless it's a promotion or you're moving 60 miles away from your current school. It's like a agreement they've all made.
So they wouldn't move to another school?
No, they're not allowed to.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not allowed to. After June 1st, you're locked in. And if you break your contract, you can lose your teaching license for sure. People can get out of it for, certain reasons, of course, but typically after June 1st, you're locked in.
Right.
Yeah, good question. All right. Do we have anybody that went to the cluster advisory team that wants to share anything? I don't even know when that was, to be completely honest with
I
you.
did, and I'm trying to think about what we talked about.
I know, I
Because
can't even remember.
they've all been like right before a break, and then we go on a break. A lot of it is just working around some of the work we've already done as our own Go team. They're just trying to get us aligned
Right.
to what we need at the school level with resources, what we need as far as like staffing and things like that. So we kind of just shared out as a cluster what we need with, there were schools who wanted to talk about like transportation and things like that. None of it was stuff that was specific to Brandon, but kind of just trying to lift needs from the
Yeah.
North Atlanta cluster, which was nice to hear from, North Atlanta and Sutton and all of them. So we gave all of that feedback to the advisory board, and then they'll use that to make some of those adjustments.
Yeah, and the cluster advisory teams, they are very dominated by parents and community members. They just a lot of questions, a lot of talking, and then sometimes people from other clusters get on, and it gets a little fudgy, and then we've been on for an hour, and I'm trying to figure out where we're headed with it. I don't get to say a lot. So thank you for Moses for joining that. I've had some good cluster advisory. I do know one of the benefits of it is we do set like a little strategic plan for the North cluster and like something that like we all agree on. Like one of the goals is to have North Atlanta be like the community hub and to do some activities with our elementary schools. So we work with
Yeah.
them on, trying to do that. So we have a little plan for the North cluster.
And that's what
Um,
we were ranking those
yeah,
as a cluster advisory, just ranking because we get into our clusters in small groups at the end. And we were just ranking those as far as like what we feel like is most important to us as a cluster
right.
and trying to figure that out. So it was
Good
good.
call out because cluster advisory meetings, when they start, it's every single school. So it takes a lot to get into that breakout because there are people that will hijack the meeting. There's 16 schools being closed. There are a million things going on in the district. So sometimes it does become a bit of a kind of a, I don't know, venting session or a way to get feedback to the right people because there are chiefs that are on that call and things like that. All right, I want to talk about the elections. Shout out to our parents. We have three great candidates that are running, and I just want to say they heeded my call. So I will say that I love that they stepped in to lead this. People will say that honestly, Go Team is the highest level of leadership for a school. I mean, it really is. So I just want to just thank you to Patty Shankman and Erica Tuggle, Chris Fellows for throwing his name back in the hat, just for kind of lending it's not easy to put yourself out there on a text message, on a vote. I totally get that. I will tell you right now, all three candidates are just absolutely incredible, and I would endorse all of them. But I did just want to give them a second. If they just want to say a word, you are welcome to, and just introduce yourself, say hi, speak for 5 seconds if you'd like to, just so we can put a name to a face. And I do know that we have voting that just opened. I got the text messages yesterday, and it will close on the 24th. So maybe we can start with Patty. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. I'm Patty Shankman. I've been a proud Morris Brandon parent for the past 5 years. And during those 5 years, I've been very involved as a room parent every year. And I'm the current Be Fun co chair. So I had the wonderful opportunity to raise $60,000 over our goal, over like $300,000 for the Morris Brown Brandon Foundation, and would really love to have the opportunity to be on the Go team. So thanks for having me here today.
Awesome. And Patty has two children. One goes to Morris Brandon, and yeah, exciting. So thank you.
3 children.
Three children. Oh my gosh, you got a little girl. I totally
Yeah,
forgot.
my baby's going to go to Morris Brandon
She's
too.
like three now. I'm
She'll
probably
be 3 in
yeah, I'm
May.
like,
So
oh my
yeah,
gosh,
she'll
I
be
totally
a
forgot.
kindergarten
Yes.
student
I
in
always think
about
about the
2 years.
ones that actually like rap Brandon.
Yes,
I
yes.
got to get used to the siblings too.
Thank you.
All right, Erica, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for the invitation. I'm Erica Tuggle. I am also a proud Morris Brandon parent, have two little ones at Morris Brandon. So Jordan is about to end. He's in 5th grade and Ara is in 2nd. And so we've just been so honestly blessed by the school. We love it. We love the community, from the parents to the faculty, staff, to the children. And so to serve in this way, I think would be honestly quite an honor. I found, small ways of volunteering and supporting the school. Looking forward to doing a little bit more of that actually next year as a part of the readathon committee. But this is a really interesting opportunity, I think, to take a strategic perspective on how we are advancing Morris Brandon and our community. And that's really where I really am excited about applying my own experience from not only business management, but also now owning my own company and growing that. And from everything from fundraising, which is substantial in terms of what we've been able to do, raising almost 2 million for my business, to also thinking about just strategically what are our objectives and how do we get there, and really building from the ground up in many ways. And so on the foundation that's already been set. So excited to hopefully apply some of those things and be a part of the team.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. I love business-minded people on Go Team because it's like running a business. It's a small business here, right?
Yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
fascinating.
Awesome. Okay. Last but not least, the man that needs no introductions because he's been on our Go Team before. He might be frozen. He might not be. There he is. His name is Chris Fellows. Come on, Chris.
Hey team. Yeah, hope I'm in a good cell spot in my office. Chris Fellows have been around Morris Brandon a long time, spouse of a 19-year teacher. And my kids have matriculated through. I've got a rising 8th grader at Sutton, a rising 6th grader at Sutton, rising 4th grader at Morris Brandon. So a little bit of continuity from being around the school a long time. Certainly respect the passion of all the folks on staff, and committed parents and community members that are on the call. Day job. My day job is I work in banking at Regions Bank. My night job is I coach lacrosse at Sutton. So those are some things I'm passionate about.
Y'all have been dominating too. I saw some of those wins you had,
You
right?
know,
Pace and
we're winning the tailgate, Jay. We're not always on the scoreboard, but we're winning the tailgate.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Win the tailgate. I love it. Well, listen, we have 3 incredible candidates, and I think that you cannot go wrong with any one of them. I just want to send my sincere thanks to all of you all for putting your names out there. Voting ends on the 24th. You can find candidate information at apsstrongschools.com and make sure you vote. Okay, just a couple quick announcements. GOTeam members, you should have end of year surveys in your email. They are going to be big on those. So please just make sure that you check and that you do that. Check your email for the link. I don't get the survey. So if somebody got it, maybe they can email the GOTeam and say, hey, it looks like this, or it came from this. But just go ahead and take that survey. There's a principal feedback survey. There's a satisfaction survey. And then we just want to remind you to complete any trainings, but I think we are good with our trainings because Kim does not let anybody not get trained. She makes sure that everybody has their trainings. So thank you. Couple just on the horizon. I'm presenting tomorrow at the Principal Coffee Talk. Very short, very similar presentation, spoiler alert. But I do just want to talk about a few things that'll close out our year. Tall and small ball next Friday. World Cultures Night, my favorite event of the year. I started it last year. It's phenomenal. Join us, 28 countries being represented by families from around the world that all go to Morris Brandon, 5 to 7 p.m. Dad's Golf Tournament, May 1st, 5th grade promotional, and Splashdown. We are 5 weeks away from the end of the school year. I cannot thank you all enough for everything you've done. If you need anything, let me know. That's all I got, everybody. Go ahead, Kim. Close us out.
I will say today's my last GOTeam. So thank you. It's been a great 4 years.
4 years. You made the
4
first,
years.
you got the first swing that got to go all the way through.
Yes.
4 years. Came in right after that pandemic, kind of just jumped right in with me.
So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. It's really been one of my favorite volunteer opportunities at Brandon. I'm on the foundation at North Atlanta, so I've continued on, just gone to a bit, at North Atlanta. But I'll be around. I have a rising 4th grader, so Jay can't get rid of me yet, but I did want to say thank you to each one of you. And the chair role will be open next year for anyone who actually wants it. And Jay can talk to you more about that next year. But yeah. And so we have reached. Go ahead.
Really quickly, is there anyone else that would be rolling off except for Chris if he did not win? I'm just curious. I don't always know that. Moses is done. Moses,
Well,
give us your last words.
probably. I was on the election, but I'm hoping give some other people an opportunity. So if
you're so nice.
I love it. I love
God,
it
that's so
so
kind
much,
of you.
but I
Thank
also
you.
know there are so many people that want it. So
All right, awesome.
I may be back if I get it, but otherwise, there are some great candidates.
And I will say exciting news. Our staff are voting as well. We have, 4 candidates, maybe 5. And I didn't push them super hard. Everybody, they want to be involved in our leadership and our growth. So we have some great candidates. I think 5 staff at Morris Brandon are interested in running for those 2 spots. So yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys so
Jordan,
much.
are you done?
I have no idea. I
Okay.
think I might have one more year, but maybe it has been 2.
Yeah, I do think Jordan and Moses are the ones that are rolling off.
Yeah,
for our
Jordan,
2
I
staff.
think we started together.
I think they
Okay,
started
yes.
together.
Yes.
And then, Tiffany will roll off, right?
Yeah, Tiffany.
Yes, Tiffany's been here for 2 years as well.
Yeah.
How time flies.
So just as
Quick.
she's in the community seat.
Yeah.
So.
Well, all right, everybody. Well, Kim, do you want to close us out for our
Yes.
final meeting of the year?
Yes. So we've reached our end of the agenda. Is there any additional business? Nope. Okay, I'm just going to say no. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Ms. Moses. A second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
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 Great, thank you. I think any abstentions? Nope. Okay, great. This meeting is adjourned. It's 4:21. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
great day.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for all your hard work this year. I really mean it. We did so much work together. So thank you. Thank you. It's been a great year. All right. If you need anything, let me know. Reach out. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.